We're going to be talking about serverless Kafka, the differences there between vanilla managed Kafka offerings. I'm going to be relying heavily on my friend Matthias here to help out with the conversation. So, Matthias, I'll hand the presentation controls over to you. Are you going to hear more?
Yeah, and then now you guys can see my screen. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Let's go back here. So thanks for inviting to join. We have the big team here. So we can start to talk about serverless Kafka. So serverless Kafka is like the deployment of Kafka. So how it works, why we're using. So you're gonna be a nice talk. I hope, guys. Please make questions, bring your use cases as well on the comments. Let's try to do this more interactive. Besides the ones that are here, I hope you guys enjoy because I'm gonna say something like problem, like legal. I think everything's out of a problem. So we have this company, like a fake company, but for our enablement board called Trendy Glasses, is a company with the best glasses in the market has been sold by us. And we have a normal sale, good. We sell okay, we increasing, we are like strengthening our brand, but the Black sale, the Black Friday was great because everybody wants to give glasses to the loved ones. Sunglasses in Brazil, like the sun. Imagine the sun in Brazil, so it's crazy. Like you can see by my camera that even if everything like is close, it still have the sun getting into my figure. So that happens. But then last year was not good for us. I was in the operations, playing the glasses, and then we have a lot of problems that we get. We're gonna delve into these ones, but we have to do the capacity of all Kafka clusters. So the sales was going pretty well. We have to increase the cluster. The cost pay off because like is a Black Friday spring, but then the Black Friday is over. So let's go back here. My sales goes to this again. And then I have to do all the heavy lifting, crazy stuff on my Kafka that is on-prem, the deployment of open source Kafka. So the two things that Guillaume just knock into my door and say, I want two things for the next year. I want like a managed Kafka, and I don't want you guys to worry about this. I want to do everything completely serverless. That's because we have the manage, something that's hosted by the cloud, something that's a few operations, but I want a completely serverless as a different figure. And I like before we go forward, I'm gonna bring Ivan to the discussion that Ivan, why do you think that it's important to have the servers? Because like I say, I have this open source crazy Kafka that I have to scale up and scale down. Tell us a bit about your experience of, okay, now we have to scale the Kafka. We have to unscale the Kafka. Tell us a bit about it.
I think the biggest issue is the biggest problem or the biggest challenge actually in every organization that has a even little bit bigger Kafka platform is basically a capacity planning. Imagine what you said. You have a peak days or even a peak seasons which are starting in April and ending in August or September. You got to scale all your fleet to the next level. And then you have to, as it is ending, you have to descale it. Or if you have a peak days or peak hours, imagine that sort of a hurdle where you have to constantly, if you're on-prem, talk with your IT department. I need this amount of VMs, or I need to buy this amount of bare metals, which are for the good part, just sit down, lay down, and collect the dust. That's the biggest hurdle. It's a bureaucracy. And in the very end, it's your engineers which have to scale that and then scale it back. And it can just bring a lot of, it's not a heavy lifting, but in the end, it just brings a lot of not necessary, unnecessary work that can be put into much better projects and much better, the things that need much bigger attention, for example.
And that's something that you said is amazing that you can do other things. You can be more business driven oriented instead of worrying about scaling clusters, scaling volumes, and get be crazy. And because when we get this, people always ask, why do we need a managed cap? Why do we need this? Because like I say, and then they have lifting. It's crazy. You have to do, Kafka was not born as cloud native. So you have to understand that it has been changed over the years. But most of the companies, they have this Kafka internal, or even in cloud, but it's like a deployment of Kafka that you have to add this, build the operation. You can do a few things like using cruise control, but even it can be a pain. There's no rule that is a pain. Let's do that.
And imagine talking with your P or PM every January and saying, "Hey, I need a month where we're just going to focus on scaling every whole our fleet, and then a couple of weeks, we need just for descaling, and then planning everything." It's just they don't like to hear that. If you can tell them, "Hey, listen, we can do this," it's maybe gonna, maybe gonna cost us, but in the longer run, it's just gonna be much more cost effective. Our engineers gonna be able to focus on much better and productive stuff that's gonna help us in the long haul rather than doing repetitive work. Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree with you. And for that's answering a few offerings that we haven't working. We're gonna delve in one. That's why I call Victor here. He's my right hand is the one that is working with this one of MSK. But we have these other options, all options that let us work as well together to go to development experience, to improve the development experience. But we're gonna delve into the one in the middle, the AWS MSK. Of course, we're not gonna enter in this now. If you guys want to see something about this subject, please add in the comments. I'd like to know more about Red Panda, Haven. Just let us know for us to create more content about this. But let's delve into the most of the customers, they go crazy when you talk about this. Go into AWS. So for this part, I'm gonna hand over to Victor. Victor, see if you can share your screen because then we can do, you're in mute. Just to let you know that happens. Adam, you want to talk about something? I know you
Wanted to let you know he's on mute.
it happens.
So everyone can hear me, guys?
Good to go.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So thanks a lot for everyone to be here. It's my pleasure to share some knowledge about Kafka and MSK serverless. I hope this can bring some new ideas for everyone that can be to use it to create the new products. Yeah, let's start. You already know that Kafka can be very complex. The infrastructure you need to deal with the storages, CPU, memory, configuration, costs. And we have the problem that we have a lot of consumers and producers inside our infrastructure. And we need to deal all the environment problems, so bring some problems with these clients of our infrastructure. And sometimes, like Matheus said, we have the problem that we have some spikes. Yeah, literally spikes on the use of your infrastructure and inside of a company. That's going to be really good because it's going to be a lot of new products being sold for the customers. But when you're talking about the infrastructure, you need to deal with some problems. Like you need to understand that you need to create the new brokers to make the servers online all the time. You need to create more memory, CPU, storage. And this can bring some costs for a company because it's not only the infrastructure, the hardware itself. You need to understand that we need people working this infrastructure. You need SRE that will monitors or Kafka brokers. You need Kafka specialists that will handle problems with Kafka itself. This can be really painful because everyone just think about how can I handle these spikes? I just need to create more brokers, more infrastructure to handle all these spikes and provide a good service for our customers. Okay, that's fine. It's normal. But how can I bring down these infrastructures? Kevin said this can be really painful if you don't have the integration, a good integration between the teams in this young or dependent manager. So how can we handle this kind of problem? In that case, we start to think about MSK serverless. The whole idea is you don't need to think problems that the handle of the infrastructure can bring to us. How this works? When you are configuring the Kafka infrastructure, you need to think about hardware, CPU, memory, network. Even if you are using the MSK itself, you need to understand our problems because you need to choose the machines that we're going to use for Kafka. The MSK serves, but when we don't know how the things we are going along time, so the best options can be the MSK servers. Why? Because we can have the scalability. So the Amazon will take care of the scalability of the brokers for you. Security. We know that Amazon contains the best security measures to contain problems, not only the networks, but hackers and a lot of things that can happen in your infrastructure. Flexibility. It's really easy to create a cluster of MSK of Kafka. So start using that. It's really easy. And cost effective. You just will pay what you store inside the cluster linkers. So when you have correct binding between the teams, the IT know what will gonna happen with the product. And all of this is important because everyone say, I just need a new feature, a new product, and that's it. They don't share the details and they just need to bring the infrastructure and they handle all of this.
They only say that for your Victor. Okay, I need a cluster of Kafka. So you don't know the workload, you don't know how many messages, whatever. So it's good for you to bring this flexibility of, okay, just plug in.
It's a great point to raise because if I'm an engineering manager or a CTO, I don't want my developers worrying about capacity planning and infrastructure problems and issues, even though they might be the ones that have that information. And I don't think it's their responsibility or the best use of their time to be calculating megabytes per second per month to capacity plan out their managed Kafka instance for this workload. For certain use cases, that's ideal, maybe the cheapest way, and you've got a process in place. But I definitely see a lot of use cases where we don't know. It's a very high variance workload. We just know we need to be able to support it when that spike happens. And we need that scalability to automatically scale down when it's not spiking up too. Awesome. Yeah, I feel like that ties directly to what Ivan said about a developer asking for a month to capacity plan.
Sure. I agree with that. And the consequences is this is time to market. You need to create a new product, a new feature. You need to be on the top of the companies bring the best service for our customers. So this kind of service can help us a lot if it is time to market to bring a new product to the customers. Talking more about the details with the Kafka cluster. So when we need to deal with the spikes, usually you need to talk with the SRE of your infrastructure and say, what's happening? What do you think is going to happen at the time? Do you know if you need something? And usually they say, hey, you're going to say to you, bring more storage, bring more brokers, and you'll be fine. Don't need to worry about that. So, but you need to have more people take care of that, depending the size of company, of course. And when you are doing that, the infrastructure tasks, you need to know that there's a lot of customers or new products that's just using your infrastructure and you don't know. Usually, we don't know because some of the customers, not the real customers, can be just some curious people or bots just using our infrastructure. And we need to deal with that. So this is more related to the part of the security itself. And when we are using the MSK serverless, we don't need to worry about that. We just need to create the servers, plug it there. In that case, plug links in the MSK serverless and start using that. So let me show for you guys and how simple it is to deal with MSK serverless in that case. We already have an unclustered here, but how can we create the new cluster? Just need to reload that. Just a minute. Someone there had some notes can ask.
Yeah, I think it's important to mention too, while we're talking about Kafka and the Kafka infrastructure and sort of the challenges that come with managing that, whether it's self-owned or managed service, there's other parts of the ecosystem too, right? So that same team is probably managing a Kafka Connect cluster as well. Similar architecture with shared resources there and shared tasks. So capacity planning would be relevant for that as well. And schema registry as well as the producers and consumers that you were showing there.
Sure. So can I create the cluster? Just log into AWS, go to Amazon MSK,
Victor,
create the new cluster.
you can't see your screen if you're playing it.
Oh. Right. I'm seeing you're not seeing on them.
You're not think?
I'm not, but go ahead if other people are. It's just a problem.
Yes. Let me see if everybody's.
I can see it. Okay. Right. Nice. We're just about to create a new cluster. Wait, create or custom create. In that case, you can change some some details of the cluster, but you just go custom create. But to the serverless, you need to pay attention on the capabilities of these clusters. We need to know this can be a good solution for our problems, but like other services is not a silver bullet. You need to deal with some limitations. Since we had some kind of service, we need to configure some specific parameters or things like that. You need to use the MSP serverless because they can bring some restrictions, but we can change it, the servers. Go to the serverless. Next, choose the right VPC. That puts just one. Some tags, security groups. So, like other normal servers, saying AWS. And that's it.
In
Just
the best part is you don't specify any pool of machines, type of machine. You just say, okay, AWS, MSK cluster. I want a Kafka cluster.
Yeah. Even in storage, you don't need to worry about it. And to make more easier life, they bring you some IAM policies that you're gonna use that as basic policies to change according that we need for our servers. So just completely save it. Okay. Clusters here. And when we get the policy, we need to configure that for our instance, in that case, go to IAM role, go to the specific role, create this for that example, and the policy created from AWS and put here. So if you need to deal with other services from AWS, bucket is 3. So you should
I want to schema registry on Glue.
Yeah, you want to schema registry on Glue in that case. You change that in this policy. You need to make backup of lenses on S3. You change that in the policies too. So after that, just go to our cluster that already created. Here, let me see. You configure the OS. You download the NAS, change the configuration, according that we need to use. And get your license. With your license, you'll just get the address from your cluster right here. The end to that on the licenses, and you can start using that. So after this part, we just go start to use the instances. So what we're gonna see different that in other infrastructures, nothing. You can start being using the lenses like in other infrastructures. But in that case, you don't need to worry about the spikes or infrastructures. Let me put the example to run there. Gonna happen with this example. You just create some messages and send to this specific topic. And the message will handle that. You don't need to the infrastructure of Kafka. You can just start to create a new product to your data analytics, starting using lenses as well. You don't need to worry. I don't know if I'm clear enough, but you don't need to worry the infrastructure of Kafka. You don't need to worry on the processing because of lenses. So this is practically the match made in the heaven. You can have you have now both the best of world of creation of products. Have infrastructure, don't need to worry, you have the best to start processing and create your product.
Right. Also, like 20 prices, we're definitely gonna implement this for the next Black Friday. So we're definitely gonna go to this path. Amazing. Thanks a lot, Victor.
Sure. And we are talking about the halo spikes. Let me change a little the example. I produce more messages to see the spikes happening. Guys. Live? Okay. The live. So yeah. The under the our cluster on our test cluster already here. Let's go for that. We see we can receive some messages. And we see the lenses. Yeah. 2006 messages. We are receiving 1,000 messages per second right now.
That's what happens to me. I was like 20, 10, and then 1,000.
1,000. This is what we can have today, MSK serverless flexibility. And how this works very well with Lexus.
What downsides to use the serverless method? He's a manager, so he's asking, okay, that you're okay, what is the downside?
Yeah, what's the catch? There's got to be a catch here. This looks too good. Is there a maximum throughput you can do with serverless?
So there's I think it's a maximum of it's 200 read and 400 writes, or the other way around, Matthias.
Yeah, Victor, you can go to the instance and then show beyond that. Go to the create a new one just to show.
It's 200 write and 400 read because the operate
Wow.
in
Yeah.
and out pattern is the most common.
Yeah.
But then another catch is that you lack some configuration controls with serverless. For example, for authentication, right now for MSK serverless, you need to use IAM authentication for clients. There's also some limitations as far as what metrics you can get. It does, I believe, natively write to CloudWatch metrics, but does not have the Open Prometheus compatible metrics vanilla MSK does.
And another downside from MSK serverless, you need to know what kind of problem are you dealing with, because you can't handle all the configuration like you have a Kafka in your premise. Some kind of problems that we need specific configurations, you can use the MSK serverless. Even the Amazon say that in its documentation, you need to know what kind of problems are you dealing before you start using MSK serverless.
Yeah, despite that, it looks fantastic. Yeah, I can imagine it's solving a lot of pain for a lot of people. But I guess you wouldn't use this as your centralized platform. It would be more for isolated applications, right? I'm guessing.
Isolated implementations or a use case that has a wide variance in workload requirements would be good
Yeah.
uses for it. We've talked to customers too who use serverless for sort of an on-demand resource by developers who need an environment now and don't want to do that initial capacity forecasting and planning. So that flexibility is great for temporary experiments, a temporary development cluster as well. Awesome.
And love it. I just love it. Everything. I'm so
Perfect. Thanks so much for that demo, Victor, showing us the power of MSK serverless. So
Pleasure.
if you want to stop the share, I think we can wrap this up. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks everybody for joining. This has been our Kafka live stream on serverless Kafka. If you have any questions about the presentation today or want to interface with the wider team, definitely join our community Slack. That's the best way to contact us directly.